Hey everybody, welcome to another tutorial. Today's tutorial is about MANTA Pacific. It is one of the fastest growing L out there and is the first L2 to integrate Celestia data availability. So that's pretty big. That being said, this one you'll need to act fast on. They are closing the bridging and the special rewards in just 4 days. So get on this as soon as you can. That being said, my name is Aussie. Welcome. If you are into airdrops, crypto, and growing your wealth, then you're in the right place. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing with a friend, dropping a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. I'll be dropping tutorials and all sorts of different content over the next several months. So would love to know what you want to see. MANTA Pacific already has a TVL of 900 million. It is absolutely growing at a tremendous pace. On top of that, it has a massive VC backing, including Harvard University, Coin Fund, Parify Capital, Binance Labs, Polychain Capital, Alliance, the Berkeley Accelerator. So that is insane. On top of that, they're also working with the founder of Polygon and Santiago Royale. So that's huge. Plus, when we look at their ecosystem partners, they're working with Stakestone, they're working with Mountain Protocol, Layer Zero, Eigenlayer. We've already talked about Eigenlayer, Coinbase, Fireblocks, Trusta. There's a lot of big players behind MANTA, which means this is likely to be a huge airdrop in 2024. That's why I'm really suggesting you don't miss out on this airdrop. Yes, there's a tight timeline. Yes, I'm talking about locking up funds up until March, potentially. Yes, you could convert your stone into C or ETH, but there's a little bit of a penalty conversion there, and bridging would have to be done off a non-native bridge. So definitely some negatives and some drawbacks with this airdrop, but lots of positive, including the fact that they are being a native yield-bearing blockchain. Unlike Blast, which hasn't had a lot of details, MANTA is doing base yield. They're doing massive airdrop incentives, and they're also providing a lots of different yield options, including Eigenlayer restaking and a whole bunch of other things. And so I think that is massive and a huge benefit to anybody who is looking to increase their capital and take advantage of airdrops in 2024. Now, let's get into the tutorial part of this video. This is relatively simple right now, but I'm sure I'll be coming up with a follow-up to this video as more apps become available. A big thing about MANTA is they're running a lot of different campaigns and different strategies for their airdrop hunting over the next several months. The official airdrop should be coming sometime in March, so there's still a few months. That being said, the longer you're active on the chain, the better. You'll benefit more. You'll grow your account. It will be beneficial for you in this airdrop. So the first part is getting a wallet funded with ETH. I'm funding this wallet with 1.1 ETH. With how they're running the campaign, for every ETH you bridge over, you get a box which represents an allocation in MANTA tokens. The other part, and we'll see later on, if you're staking Celestia, which you should be doing based off our previous video on the Cosmos airdrop tutorial guide, you will also be benefiting from MANTA. So once you get that 1.1 ETH in your wallet, we're going to go to MANTA Pacific, which is at newparadigm.manta.network. I'll drop a link in the description below, and then you're going to have to use an invite code. I'm going to have a bunch of invite codes in the description and in the pinned comment and in the written strategy guide. So just follow along, use one of those links. If one of them doesn't work, try a new one. There are several links. As people use them, they get used up. Once you get the code, you connect your Twitter, you then get to choose how much ETH you're bridging. I've got my wallet funded with 1.1, so I bridged over 1. You don't want to bridge all of the ETH that you're going to be using on the chain. When you bridge ETH onto MANTA, it's converted to Stone. Stone is yield-bearing ETH. That being said, you need ETH to pay gas fees. And so you need to bridge that 0.1 ETH separately. In this case, it ended up being about 0.8 ETH is what I managed to bridge over separately, so that you can use that to pay for gas fees. You've got all of that on the chain. I used owl.to to bridge over. You can also use Orbiter Finance to bridge that ETH that you need for gas fees over. Both of them are cheap. We also know that there's running a Galaxy campaign, and bridging using owl.to is one of their requirements. So, worthwhile doing. Now that we've bridged all of our funds over, we're going to do 2 separate sets of actions. One's lending and borrowing on MANTA Pacific. You can do that in 2 places, either Layer Bank or Shoebill Finance. I used Layer Bank in this tutorial, and I lent 80% of my stone, and then I'm going to borrow against it. I'm going to borrow 2 different tokens against it. One is going to be WUSDM. So that's one of the stable coins available on the network. And if you were to bridge over USDC through the new Paradigm Bridge, which you can also do, you would get WUSDM. So in that case, I'm borrowing about 30% of my borrow capacity in WUSDM. The other 30%, I'm going to be borrowing TI. In the first go, I ended up getting 18. Later in the video, I ended up having some leftover stone, which I then used to borrow the last 3 TIA that I needed. If you remember, 21 TIA is super important when we looked at the Cosmos ecosystem airdrops. Once you borrow your USDM and you are going to go to start conducting swaps and provide liquidity on MANTA Pacific. If you don't want to do lending and borrowing, you can also just swap some of your stone for USDM on Izumi Finance and then start providing liquidity that way. What I'm going to suggest doing is taking half of your WUSDM and half of the stone that you've got, so that you've got equal portions, and depositing that in as liquidity onto QuickSwap. Once you deposit that onto QuickSwap, you can then go to Pacific Swap, which is a new AMM that's operating on the MANTA Pacific network, and I'm going to also provide that liquidity there. This way, I'm now providing liquidity on 2 different swaps, which are being incentivized by MANTA to bring on chain and to participate in the airdrop. They're calling it Penta Yield. So by lending and borrowing on Layer Bank, by doing it on QuickSwap and on Pacific Swap, you are getting incentivized and you're going to get additional airdrops. You'll see I end up having to provide a little bit of extra stone and borrow the last of my TIA. We're not going to get into why I'm borrowing that TIA just yet. We're going to bridge that off of MANTA actually and do some additional farming methods with it. We're going to use it to do some of our advanced Cosmos farming methods and some of our basic Cosmo farming methods as a way to earn additional airdrops while the rest of our funds are locked on MANTA Pacific. This way, we're making the most of the funds that we've got and trying to capitalize on our airdrops. I know that 1 ETH is a lot for a lot of people, and so that's why I'm trying to make the most of that 1 ETH by farming as many airdrops as possible. Owl.to might do an airdrop. Orbiter, which is another bridge that you can use to bridge on, is also confirming an airdrop. So you've got several possibilities there of an airdrop And then you've got Pacific Swap that doesn't have a token yet, so potential airdrop there as well. Lots of different airdrops out there. Manta is going to be pretty interesting. I think it's going to be pretty big, so worthwhile doing. I also suggest that you swap your liquidity and do swaps every week. This one, again, once you set it up, 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week, and you're good. That being said, that's it for the main part of this tutorial. Bridging off of Manta into Celestia will be a separate video, and wait for that. It will involve several more steps and will probably be its own separate tutorial, so keep that in mind. That being said, if you enjoyed the content and liked the airdrop, if you're interested in Manta, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.